Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Lois and welcome back to Anti-Material Energy. In the last episode, I was expecting a number at the end of that. I don't know why. Oh man. In the last episode, we were working on getting, well, this guy taken care of. So we have a cobblestone generator. We've been working on trying to get the mob, what they call it, the biome painter, this guy. And we're going to try to use him to make a mob farm over there. Now, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work, but we will find out. So, we got a lot of work to do today, and as you can see, my inventory is a little full. Well, so basically, we're going to need a lot of carbon. We need carbon nanotubes in order to make the, not the biome painter, but the, what is it? The Plains capsule. So we're going to need 10 carbon nanotubes, and so I've been working through a lot of cellulose to try to help with that. And, well, basically, I have a lot of hydrogen because of this. So, real quick, let's go ahead, look at that. Now, this stuff is pretty easy to kind of deal with. We'll put the carbon nanotubes in. Actually, we're going to keep the carbon nanotubes on us. And I want to do something different right now. So we're going to take these hydrogen and we're going to make hydrogen nanotubes. And we're going to make a ton of these. So luckily I believe the energy required is 50, pretty cheap. And well, basically I have a ton of hydrogen. And so I kind of want to get rid of a lot of it. So much so that it actually has made our storage cell full a little bit. So this is kind of a temporary little setup just to kind of deal with the fact that we have way too much hydrogen. So 11 hydrogen nanotubes should be just fine. We'll put those in there, and if we need more hydrogen, we can pretty easily break that down. So we need the carbon. And let's go ahead and tell this guy, let's get a hydrogen nanotube. Where were they? There they are. And we'll go ahead and put that in there and just take a look at it so that it knows about it. So we're going to need the carbon nanotubes. And we're going to need as many of these as we can possibly get. Now, I can also do the same thing with oxygen, so that is something that might be super useful later. We'll kind of see. So, carbon is really the only thing right now that we want to deal with. And I can basically just clean up messes as needed. So yeah, as you can see, we are really close to being full of stuff. And if we fill up all of this, we can't collect any more cobblestone, so that is a problem as well. So let's get as much of this as we can. We'll put that away, and we'll get some more double compressed. And I've been trying to store enough to get basically all of the cobblestone we need. We need to get a quadruple for one of the quests, so that is kind of where we're at. Other than that, we just need to make a Plains Biome, which we just need a bunch of stuff. We haven't done the basic capacitor. What is the recipe for this? Requires silicate and titanium. Okay. So we have silicon, but not silicate. Now something else that I kind of want to mention is I've been burning hydrogen as well. Can we burn this? We can. Alright, well, you guys are no longer being burnt. We're going to take 3 of these and put them in there and see how much power we can get. It's going to give us 1.28 million. That is not bad. It's going to probably take a while, but that's fine. In fact, I want to go ahead and break this guy. And you'll see why in a moment. So, for the most part here lately, we've been, oh my gosh, that takes forever. So this is going to take 3.5 hours to burn. But you know what? It's efficient. So the survivalist generator, we're going to want to upgrade this guy to a culinary generator. I think this would be a really good idea to go ahead and start working on. We have the iron, so that's not an issue. We have the cobblestone to make another furnace. And all we need is 2 pieces of redstone. Now redstone is actually not that bad to make. Redstone is made from iron oxide and copper. So we need iron and copper. So we have a little bit of copper sulfate. We're going to need 2 pieces. So I kind of want to look at this stuff. Be somewhat good about this. So copper, sulfate, don't really care too much about. And then we're going to need some iron. And some oxygen. So that's not too bad. Now, let's see, do we have another stack of carbon? We do. Go ahead and get those. I wonder if we made another one of those, which I don't know that we can currently. I've organized the inventory just a little bit, as you can see. So we have miscellaneous blocks, mob drops, tech stuff, resources. That is this farm, this is wood, and all wood products, and all that kind of stuff. So just trying to sort things a little bit better. So let's see, iron 3 oxide. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And alright, we've got to put the oxygen in there. Okay, cool. So we have that. We go ahead and scan those. Now I wonder if we can switch that stuff around. If that should be attached to our player data. So hopefully, if we want to like move things around so that we can, like, I don't know, get more varied stuff, that might be good. So anyways, we have our 2 redstone. So basically we can make more synthesizers eventually and then make good on like doing a bunch of other stuff. So we'll see. Anyways, let's go ahead and we have a culinary generator now. So we can put that down, and now what we can start doing is once we get like carrots, or is there anything we can do with this? We can make golden carrots, that's not really good. Carrot charcoal. It's a shame there's not like a cooked carrot type of thing, but we can start cooking stuff and getting a good bit of power. And that will charge everything up. And let's actually start charging these guys up as much as we can. So we're going to need a lot more carbon. And in order to get this, so the carbon nanotubes, we can then make this. So we're going to need 10 carbon nanotubes. That is a lot of carbon. So we need... that is pretty good, but I don't remember how we got that. Might have been a quest reward. Recipe. Yeah, it was a quest reward, but you know what? I don't know that this is itself is useful. Nah, it doesn't look like it, but it's great for other things. So let's go ahead and do something like this. Now we're going to need 20 cellulose, so need just a little bit more of that as well. And yeah, we're going to need a lot of different things. But basically, once we get to the point where we can start... Basically, once we get to the point where we can start getting mobs, we can get a lot of different chemicals and whatnot from mob drops. Things like... Why do we only get... Okay, we get our 4 saplings. Things like gunpowder will get us, I believe, potassium, and bones from skeletons gives us calcium. So a lot of various things, and because this mod pack it's essentially a Skyblock but with MineChem and not Skyblock, which is nice. I kind of get tired of Skyblock sometimes. It's not a bad thing, it's just kind of annoying. So we're going to put apples in here. And can we fuel scientific calculators? Okay, so we can decompose this for cellulose as well. So once I get a full stack of that, then we'll start looking at decomposing it as needed. So we need 20 of these and 4 more sets of carbon. So let's do a full stack. We have some magnesium now, which is kind of cool. Let's go ahead and get this out. And we need 20 of these. So there we go. Cool. So in the meantime, what can we work on? So this guy requires titanium. Do we have much titanium? No. Titanium oxide is good. Oh, by the way, I should probably reload the scripts. I always forget about that. MT reload. I need to like really remember that. So make sure that everything in here is good. I think we're fine on a lot of this stuff, but never know. So we need the basic capacitor. The recipe for this, we need silicate, which is just silicon and oxygen. We can handle that. Let's see, silicon. We're gonna need what, 8 of those? So we don't need the colony generator up there anymore. Making that was probably a good idea, just because in the long run it's gonna make things easier. I never did check to see if there's another recipe. Nope. Okay. Fair enough. So what we want to do, we want to look at capacitors. So basic capacitor requires 8 silicate, so that's not too bad. And it's just going to be, what, 4 oxygen each, so that is half a stack of oxygen. So we can take 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more of those. Why is there 16 of that? Let's go ahead and take all of the hydrogen out. And yeah, I definitely think making hydrogen nanotubes. Oh, wait, what? Oh, it's shaped. Okay. I was like, did I accidentally, make something I wasn't necessarily supposed to? Let's grab more hydrogen. Because honestly, this is not a bad way to store hydrogen. We're going to have a ton of hydrogen as we go. So I kind of want to make sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. There is silicate. All 8 of those. Now there is other ways to get this from silicon, as well as I believe, let's see, I believe we can get it from clay at some point, which is a quest in another thing. Yeah, there's something with all of this right there. So running sand and clay through the sag mill. Okay. So basically we can make it ourselves, or we can do some other things to get it. I figure it's easier to make it ourselves. Now eventually we'll probably not want to, but that will be eventually. So we just need 2 more. Let's grab I don't know, 16 birchwood. I think that'll be enough. Let's turn those off. These guys are 25% powered and 25% powered. Cool. So while we're waiting, let's go ahead and do oxygen nanotubes, because we have a lot of oxygen as well. So it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and just do that every once in a while. And that'll make things easier in the long run. So we just need some titanium for this guy. And best way to get titanium, it is a rare thing from like cobblestone. But if we cook it into stone, it's a little bit more common. Alternatively, we can use white anti-blocks, because this will give us the white anti-material, which gives us titanium as well. So, options. I guess let's just take a stack of this. And 1, 2, 3, 4. That is not enough. We are getting close though, so there is one set. We just need a little bit more carbon. So carbon, I guess let's just do a little bit more of these. What else do we have? Carbon black, sure. Process that next. So there's one. Yeah, more cellulose, I think, is what we need. So, I guess let's just chop down more trees. Why are we not getting many saplings from this? That's really strange. And it's broken, of course. So we need to repair this guy with flint. Question is, what's the best way to get flint? Uses, recipe. So we can get it from silicon dioxide, but I don't think that's a good idea. We can get, yeah, not when we can make a lot more stuff. So we get a thing of silicon, a thing of oxygen, a stack of oxygen, and just 1 and 2, and then something like that gives us a bunch of those. Cool. So with this, let's go ahead and just, it's gonna be silly, but we're gonna just dig through a little bit. We should get flint relatively quickly. But more importantly, we don't lose any gravel, because otherwise it's a 2-to-1 recipe, and I don't want to do that. So, or rather, it's a 3-to-1. We'd lose 2 in the process. But this isn't working, so you know what? There we go. Easy flint. Let's just repair this guy. Put these guys in there. Decompose that while we're doing other things. And we did get a sapling at least, so I'm hoping that eventually we will have a surplus of saplings of all sorts and types. It's just a matter of kind of, well, getting there. I don't know why it's such a challenge to get saplings in this, but let's go ahead. I want to store that sapling. And we need to decompose more wood. There's another titanium. and there's a bunch of cellulose. So there's a little bit of that. We'll put this through next. Let's grab everything else. Lead, oxygen, hydrogen, silicon, chlorine, oxygen. A lot of stuff, but not much that we really care too much for. But hey, we have all of our carbon nanotubes. So now what we can do is 10 carbon nanotubes, 10 each of the cellulose, and there is a Plains capsule. So I want to go ahead and scan that just so it's easier to make later. Let's go ahead and put all of this stuff away. We'll put this stuff here. And real quick, let's just get 2 more titaniums. So we're halfway there with the titanium. What we can do is probably take another handful of cobblestone. Before we do anything with this, though, let's go ahead and make a bunch of compressed down to double compressed. And we are 5 triple compressed away, so that's about what, 4? That's about 4,000 cobblestone. So we'll kind of keep an eye on this. I'm going to clean up this guy later with all the hydrogen and oxygen. We have a ton of that stuff. We still have a ton of that stuff. And it's just going to be a matter of... it's storming again. Great. I had this happen earlier to me today, or rather, when I prepped this last night. So what we're going to do is just get a ton of hydrogen. We'll keep like a little over 100, and just get plenty of the nanotubes. And do the same for oxygen, because this is also a pain to have way too much of. And it's just a matter of kind of making things a little bit more, well, organized. So I don't know if there's anything else we're going to need to do that with, but if there is, we can deal with it. So we now have this Plains capsule. We have this biome plant painter. I have no idea how this works. But we have the Plains capsule. That's going to give us a reward. So it's going to give us some grass blocks, which is nice. And then there's a bunch of different things that we need to do. So we'll look at that in a moment. First, let's go over here. And I want to... so we're on a mushroom island. If we right click, so this is, by the way, if I hit F9, this is the corner of a chunk. So if I right click this, this is now a plains. Okay, so it changes an area to a plains within the chunk. So can I hit F7? No. Where did it change to plains? I'm not seeing it anymore. So this is plains. And then it switches back. So okay. You know what? Let's go ahead and put grass blocks down where it says plains. I'm looking at F3 more than the map just because it doesn't seem to want to work. Mushroom Island, Mushroom Island. This is plains. So it seems to be a little bit of... No, it's exactly where it is. Okay, cool. So if I hit F7, let's go ahead and get Let's go get a bunch of dirt. Let's turn F9 away. And what we're going to do... And if we mess up, we have a capsule for Mushroom Island, which, by the way, I believe that one is a lot easier to make. But let's grab just a bunch of dirt. And we're going to make 2 little areas, so nothing major. But let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just make sure plains, 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 plains. Perfect. And then we're going to do more over here. So 1, 2, 3. And eventually this chunk will be plains. I'm only going to have this chunk be plains because, well, that's what I want. So what we can do now is, let's hit F3 again. I'm going to put a torch on here, just in case. But that one we're going to put into darkness. And we're going to need to make a sword. So that is a thing we do need to do. Put that away as well as this. So we'll put all of this stuff right here. So we're going to want a bunch of cobblestone. And let's see. Do we have any? No patterns. So we're going to want sword blade. We're going to need wide guard and a tool rod. And we're going to want full stone sword, sure. Not that. There we go. So there's the wide guard. And then a sword blade. Now this is going to be a pretty bad sword, but it's a sword. And it's a stone sword, so perfect. Let's go ahead and put that. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Like so. Okay. Cool. So what we can do now is we're going to make a little bit of a building right here. And let's see, 1, 2, we want to do one more up. And let's just do this. So we're just going to do something like this. And the whole point of this is to spawn mobs in. So we'll put torches on the corners as well. And just do something like this. So what this is going to allow us to do is to get a lot of mob drops. And that's kind of the hope. So we're just going to seal it completely. And then we will deal with things after that. So put torches on the corners. And once we put this in like so, it'll be completely dark. So the idea is, if we hit F7, let's go in there, because it should not be a concern. Darkness and spawnable darkness. Now, just to kind of make my point, if we did something like that here, let's do it too wide. And let's see, 1, 2, 3. And just did something like this. F7 is on, and there's no black darkness, so like there's no red X's, so that means that it is not possible for anything to spawn there. And that's kind of the idea. So we've changed it to plains. That means things can now spawn there, and eventually we'll just kind of build out the area. For right now, I don't really care too much. We don't have really anything to automate the like death of any mobs, so we're gonna have to do it by hand, which means that we just walk away. Here soon things will spawn in there. At least one thing should spawn in there, and then we can kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and put these guys through. And I think I want to start carrying a stack of cobblestone on me. So there's one more titanium. And we'll just have to keep doing that for a little bit. So the idea is we need 8. And we're going to need a lot more. Now the other thing we can do is, of course, always watering can this, and it'll work just fine. So eventually we'll get everything we need. Let's go ahead and put the bucket away. I don't think we're going to need that all that often. So there's another titanium. We need 3 more. So let's just give it a second and wait. Nothing else is really super important right now, but there is the titanium and the basic capacitors. So that completes this quest. We're going to get some more titanium, aluminum hypophosphite. Don't know what that is. And a reward bag. Oh, okay. So hydrogen, phosphorus, lots of cool things. Put that away, put that away. How are we doing on storage? We're doing better. We have a good reward bag. Gives us some sandstone, which could be useful actually. But we can make it, so it's not that much of an issue anyways. And then we have basic capacitors, which we're going to need to make machine casings and other things. So we'll put those in there. We have our first mobs. So we'll just come over here. We'll open up this. And kill these guys. So we have gunpowder and a creeper head. Cool. So I think I'm not going to carry a full stack of blocks. I think that's a bad idea. So once we have a little bit more stuff, we can start looking at getting like gunpowder and getting automated mob farms and whatnot. And like gunpowder, for example, is going to give us access to what? I don't remember. Sulfur and potassium nitrate, which is really nice. So lots of good things. I don't know if the creeper heads are really useful to us. It's used in Ender IO a little bit, but can we decompose them? No. Oh well. Anyways, let's take a look at the quest book. So that unlocked another set of things. I don't know where, but definitely it unlocked the sag mill. So recipe for the sag mill is normal. So we have to make a lot of iron. And iron is probably the biggest pain for us right now. Just because it requires, well, iron. And while there is a good bit of stuff that gives us that, we're going to have to get it from trace materials. And that's a pain. So we'll see what we can do. Anyways, back to hit this. Iron spike conveyor belts. Let's see, anything else? We're gonna need plutonium, but that's gonna require more lava. And then cobblestone. Okay, so looks like pretty much the only thing we have left is killing mobs. We need to kill 100 mobs. We'll get a diamond sword out of that, which is kind of nice. We're gonna need phosphorus. So we're going to need 20 bone meal. Well, that's a pain, but we'll deal with that. So, looks like I'm going to have to start killing mobs a little bit more often. And like I said, I will kind of expand as we go. Getting Passive mobs would also be really nice, but that's going to also take some time. So we'll get there. See, and then nitrogen, we're going to need both arrows and feathers can be decomposed in nitrogen, which you can use to make cocoa beans. But let's look at, we have already a bunch of nitrogen. And so we just need some cocoa beans. And that is just going to require theobromine, which is, oh no, did I click the wrong thing? So which is carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. So that should be pretty straightforward to make. And I might have crashed, so you know what? No, the music's still playing. It's just thinking, which is always a bad thing. But yeah, so kind of where we're at, we need to kill mobs. We need to gather. I need to figure out if there is a good way to get iron. That's the biggest thing as of right now. Getting a lot of iron is going to require a lot of elements and whatnot, and it's a little bit inconsistent at this point. So I don't know if there's going to be a good way or not. But you know what? I think for now, let's go ahead and call the episode here. Next time, we're going to make cocoa beans, and we are going to see what else we can do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Oh, as soon as I say that. Bye!